Recently on a Facebook Live, somebody asked me about my routines, specifically how I start my day, and if I had any tips to establish a morning routine to maximize productivity. It's like this question was just speaking my love language. I smiled to her question because I knew exactly how I was going to respond, but it wasn't always like this way. Okay, so a few years ago, there was a point where I would solely focus on what was due in that moment and what my deadlines were, rather than thinking in the margins. So what do I mean by thinking in the margins? Where do I want to go? What do I want to create? What is going to change where I am now to where I want to be in the future? I call that thinking in the margins. Not about doing, more about being. So thinking in the margins made me realize that where I want to go in my business lies in setting my daily non-negotiables. Okay, for example, a priority for me is walking the dog with my husband. In fact, I have an extremely detailed morning routine, and this is all based on the non-negotiables. These are the priorities that I've set for myself. I quickly figured out that if I know what my priorities are and then set aside time for them each day, then I would have the ability to work the rest of the day on my terms. So, how do you get started with establishing the daily routine of your dreams? Well, I'm happy to hear because we're going to get real deep and I want to have this be a conversation. I would love for you to be connecting with me on Instagram and talking about your morning routine, and we can keep each other accountable. So speaking of accountability, let's peel back a few layers. In order to determine your priorities, you have to start by imagining exactly what you want for your life, day in and day out. And I want you to write out your dream day down to the minute. Okay, I know that probably sounds super like woo-woo, right? Like write your dream day, light some Palo Santo and put on some reggae music and just write. No. I'm literally, this is profoundly impactful and so tactical to your success. I just want you to really take the time to do it, because when somebody told me to write my dream day, I was like, oh, bro, you've been hanging out in Venice Beach too long. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't really feel like I should do this, but I let myself dream up my perfect day. And it would start with something like this. Like, when you wake up in the morning, who are you sleeping next to? If you're sleeping next to anybody, what time are you waking up? What do you do in the first hour of your day? Now, I know this seems super banal, but I am telling you something locked in my productivity and something locked in the way that I was approaching projects, because it was as if I was spending my days in my business doing things I felt like I had to do, instead of doing things in a way that I knew had to be done, but on my own terms. Still the same work, but the way that I was approaching it and the way that I was looking at it and the way that I was planning for it was totally different. So when I first started to do this, for example, I knew I wanted to wake up and I wanted to watch the sunrise every morning with JD and my dog Polo. And then I knew that next I wanted to make a green smoothie. And then I knew I wanted to create and connect with people every single day. And so I wrote all of this down, like what would a perfect day look like for me? And you want to know what? It forced me to say, well, if I want to watch the sunrise every day, what time do I need to wake up? If I want a green smoothie, how much produce do I need in the fridge? And do I need to go to the grocery store? And am I planning for that? If I want to create and connect with people every day, how much time should I dedicate to going live on Facebook or going live on Instagram or creating podcasts or creating videos? When I figured out how I wanted my day to flow, I was then able to plan for that. Because there were too many times that I was like, I want a green smoothie, but I didn't have produce in the fridge and I didn't actually allocate 10 minutes of time in my day to actually make the green smoothie. So I was perpetually upset I didn't have my smoothie. But there are probably things that you want to do. Maybe you want to practice yoga. Maybe you want to be the room mom twice a week. Maybe you want to be the coach to your son's soccer team, whatever the case may be, if you aren't picturing what your perfect day looks like, you'll have no ability to actually make plans for how it could look. So when you start planning with a simple goal like your dream day, that discipline will help you figure out how to execute on it. Now, okay, I know right now, if I got you to this point, you gotta stick with me, baby boo, because I know that this seems lofty. Whenever I mention the word discipline, a lot of people bristle at that idea. I mean, let's be real. The best part of being an adult is caring less and less about discipline. Okay. But every good thing that you love doing is on the other side of discipline. So let me break this down. For every business project I've completed and been the most proud about, it has been a project that I've been the most disciplined. And I don't want to use this analogy, but I will because it's going to make a lot of sense. Even though I really don't want to talk about it, let's talk about getting in shape. I mean, I know. Why we talk about getting in shape on this podcast as I'm sitting on the floor, like dusting crumbs off my sweater. I know. But just stick with me because these working out parallels are really uncanny. If I wanted to lose weight and get into shape, I couldn't go to the gym twice a month and then wonder why I don't have a six-pack. You have to be disciplined in your daily practice of working out. You must do something for 30 days straight to create a habit. And you must do something 10,000 hours to be considered a professional. Y'all, I'm out here trying to be a professional morning millionaire. Okay, who's with me? I got about 9,000 more hours to go, but I am here for it. If you want a powerful morning routine so you could live your dream day, you must be disciplined in developing the patterns to make it possible. Now that we're here, you're probably on the edge of your seat saying like, okay, Jasmine, I got my non-negotiables. It might not be a green smoothie, but I got my non-negotiables. But how do I physically turn this into an hour by hour daily routine? So do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm slowly turning up the heat here. We're starting off with dialing in a morning routine that will empower you to move into a daily routine. So I got you. There's going to be 3 tips for establishing a daily routine for entrepreneurs. Let's dive into tip number 1, and that is to determine your peak performance hours. Everyone is different, especially when they're ready to get a ton of work done. Now, I've learned that my peak hours are between 6 a.m. and 7:15 a.m. and between 1 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. So for some reason, my brain is wired really high to power through these times. So I do everything I can to arrange my day for peak performance hours. Because I know my brain will be fired up at 6 a.m., I wake up every day at 4:30. I know. Whenever I say this, people immediately turn off. But wait. We all function differently. I wake up at 4:30, but that's what time my body just naturally wakes up. It's really annoying. I wish I could sleep until 6. That's like my dream, y'all. But my body's like, bing, time to wake up. People ask what time I go to bed. I go to bed anywhere from 10 to 10:30 every night. I'm just one of those people who sleep around 6 hours a night. And I'm fine with it. That's what I've been doing for years. So this is my natural scape. You're going to find your natural bodyscape. I just made up the word bodyscape because I wanted to say landscape. But then I was like, why is the landscape dealing with the mornings? So I made up a word called bodyscape. Hey, should I patent that? Let's be real. Okay, let's back up. Because I know my brain is fired up at 6 a.m., I wake up at 4:30 a.m. and I pray and I meditate and I read. I intentionally start my morning with peace and solitude. And then I tackle my inbox for an hour. And I want to back that up. I want to be very, very, very clear that I know that I have 30 minutes every day to pray, read, and meditate. That is a luxury. Like I know that 30 minutes in a day is a luxury. I also want to be very real and say, I plan for those 30 minutes. Like those 30 minutes are my only 30 minutes. No work, no technology. I take a hot bath. I read, I pray. I just love the morning. And I realized that when I went into the morning with gratitude, solace, and peace, things radically changed. Now, I wake up at 4:30. I'm usually in front of my computer between 5 and 5:15. I will start my day in my inbox. I fire through the most important emails, and then I plan the rest of the day according to my obligations, meetings, and other things related to my business. Those morning peak hours are when I lay out the framework for the entire day. And yes, I create a daily timeline schedule, minute by minute. I plan my day as small as 10-minute increments to ensure that I get everything I need to get done, and I stay true to my word, and I'm disciplined to my work hours. Now, I try to block out the hours of 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. as a time that I create. This is also a time that I really try to turn off technology as well. This time is when my brain goes soft so I can write, create blog posts, edit photos, execute new projects, map out new videos. I really protect this time and I turn off technology to help me focus. What I realized I was doing was I was saying, oh, I'm putting together a podcast, and then I would check Instagram. And I'm like, oh, well, you see what I'm really doing on Instagram is I'm doing research. What I should have been doing is writing Instagram posts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've been there. I'm just keeping it real with you that when I had technology on, I found excuses to be busy and not productive. Now, on the flip side, I want to be very forthcoming. If you're really productive at night, cool. All you need to do is create a schedule that gives you the latitude to lock yourself away when work gets done. Now, I've noticed I'm not a parent, at least not right now. Hopefully I will be one day. But I have heard from other parents that they say it's so difficult to get their work done when their kids are around the house or they have to balance dinner and sports activities. And that struggle is real, boo-boo. But you got two options, right? It's like your option is maybe you have to set an alarm and wake up an hour early in the morning to get it done. Or maybe you have to start a pattern of putting your kids in bed 30 minutes earlier so that you can work when they're asleep. The important thing is to explain to your spouse, your partner, your family that your schedule is important and you're going to ask for their support. So things might have to change. If they give it to you, now please don't squander it scrolling through Facebook, insisting, hey, getting lots of work done, family, lots of work. No, I've been there, done that. I'm going to call you out. Now let's get into tip number 2 for establishing a daily routine for entrepreneurs. And that is to organize your week. Now, every Sunday night, I review my week and I itemize my commitments. I send follow-up emails to confirm meetings so I can carefully craft each day around my commute, prep time, meetings. Now, knowing how much time each task takes is so important to scheduling your time. So on Sunday, I will lay out what I'm doing for the week, and then I plan out my social media. Now, I did not say I do all of my social media. I just plan my social media. So as I look at my calendar on a Sunday, I could see, am I going to be out an event that I should be posting on social media? Is there a social media holiday that I can help create content for, like National Pizza Day or National Ice Cream Day? Are there any other big holidays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, things that I could prepare for? Or are there really things in my business that I should be promoting? On Sunday, all I'm doing is like a brain dump, brainstorm. It's like, okay, this is what I'll be posting on these days, and I'll prep Monday's post. So what I'm doing is I'm planning for the week, going into the week with what my meetings are, my drive time, my planning, where am I going to be? I'm also putting in that timeline, what workouts I'm going to be doing for the week. Because I realized that if I wasn't prioritizing my exercise and workouts for the week, I would get so busy in the middle of the day that would no longer be a priority. So I don't know if you're like me. I actually will book a class. Like I put money on a class to ensure that I get to that class. So this is me prioritizing a work-life balance, keeping my health a priority, keeping me not feel overwhelmed. So I plan for the week, and I'm also planning for my social media. Now let's get into tip number 3, and that is to organize your day. Every morning, I have 2 Post-it notes on my desk. Well, actually, I have a lot of Post-it notes on my desk, but the 2 that are the most important is the first note, and that is everything that needs to get done that day. Now, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of online task management tools like Asana. That is also what I use with my team. But I am a paper and pen kind of girl. Like if I get a digital task in Asana, I'm actually writing the task that I have to do on a Post-it note so that it's front and center on my desk every day. That is everything that needs to get done. The second Post-it note is a timeline I must work from to accomplish all the tasks. Because there's so much to do and you feel like, oh my God, there's never enough time to do it. And I promise myself to stay within that timeline. Yeah, I know. I'm very cool. I'm as cool as a root canal, you guys. When people ask, Jasmine, how do you get it all done? I'm going to be forthcoming and say, I have a very small team. I am still doing a lot of my own work. Like I'm doing my own social media. I'm writing scripts for YouTube. I am recording podcasts. I'm still front and center. And in order for me to balance all of those things, I need to have a very specific timeline. Like I mentioned before, I went through my morning routine. I wake up at 4:30. I pray, I read, I meditate. But what I've also decided to do is I'm going to share with you my morning routine and my daily routine from yesterday. Now, you might think that this is very boring, but I actually am all about doing. It's not enough for me to say, hey guys, have a morning routine. I want to show you this is how I live my life. So this is a sample daily schedule from what happened yesterday. 4:30 a.m., read and meditate. 5 a.m., email. 6 a.m., Instagram check-in and respond to DMs. 6:20, record a podcast. 7 o'clock, dog walk and coffee. 7:30, post on Instagram and catch up with comments. 7:50, post on Facebook and catch up with comments. 8:15, a leadership meeting. 9, a team meeting. 9:45, LinkedIn post and respond to comments. 10:30, outline 3 YouTube videos. 11:15, I have a snack. 11:30, I have a Facebook ads meeting. 12:30, I'm writing an issue of Social Curator. 3 p.m., I drive to my workout. 3:20, I arrive at Pilates. 3:30, Pilates class. 3:45, I'm home and I eat a snack. 5 p.m., Instagram DMs and respond to comments. 5:25, Facebook direct messages and respond to comments. 5:45, Twitter update and comment. 6 o'clock, dog walk. 6:30, dinner. I'm pretty sure I just bored you to death, but I'm telling you, this is what I do every single day. And I will tell you that sometimes people hear this, specifically creatives, and you're like, that sounds miserable. And I am here to tell you over a decade of experience that when I got super organized, it gave me space and room for creativity. When I was constantly overwhelmed and always in the pursuit of, I just want to be creative. Let me be creative. I don't want to do the work. Let me be creative. I just want to make photos and I just want to edit and I just want to like put my videos together. The more I sat in that perpetual stew of let me just be creative, inspiration never hit. It was when I developed a pattern of every day doing the work, showing up, being responsible. And it was in the process of doing the work that inspiration struck. And then I had time to be creative. And where are my creative times? My productivity power zones. In the morning and in the afternoon. In short, deciding on your non-negotiables based on your priorities. Working through your peak performance hours, scheduling your week, and then scheduling your day has been, in my experience, the most effective way to create a routine. And I am sure you can attest running a business takes a lot of hard work and dedication. And while I love what I do as a creative, I must understand that the work I do every day sustains a flow of income. If I don't schedule myself to work, I always feel like I'm completely behind or overwhelmed. If you'd like to learn more about how I personally schedule my day and I fill in the blanks while creating your day and filling in your blanks, I would love for you to check out my free productivity planner at jasminestar.com/productivity. It will help you streamline your schedule and kiss your stress goodbye. And we'll be kissing out here with cherry flavored chapstick. Okay. In this 12-page guide, I walk you through how to create a productivity map to achieve your goals as I outline in episode 10. a little throwback to back in the day, episode 10. In addition, you're also going to learn how to break down your projects into a manageable timeline. I can't wait for you to get stuff done. So get your planner, run, and don't walk, and download this free, amazing gift at jasminestar.com/productivity. Friends, thank you so much for tuning into the Jasmine Star Show today. I hope this episode helped you establish a daily routine. I'll see you next time for some more tips like this that help you run an effective and profitable business. Bye.